Imagine transforming every conversation into a powerful tool of persuasion. In Doesn't Hurt to Ask, Trey Gowdy reveals how the art of asking the right questions can help you communicate effectively, connect deeply, and persuade effortlessly. Learn how to transform simple questions into powerful tools for influencing and persuading others in any setting, whether it's a courtroom, boardroom, or even during casual conversations. He explains how questions can be more persuasive than facts and opinions, drawing on his experience as a federal prosecutor and congressman. Asking the proper questions in a courtroom, business meeting, or family dinner can help you communicate and win over others. The book argues that persuasion is about engaging opponents, listening to their ideas, and subtly leading them towards yours. A personal story from the author's youth illustrates this. He was intending to work in construction when his friend's mother asked him probing questions about his future. This conversation inspired his law profession. This story shows how questions can help people identify and express their aspirations. Important distinctions include stupid questions and stupid assertions. A dumb inquiry can demonstrate ignorance but also lead to learning. A dumb claim, like misrepresenting history, shuts off discourse and undermines credibility. Persuasion starts with clear aims. A 30-50% belief shift is achievable. Knowing your facts and audience helps you make this modest shift. To convince a major investor in your business, you need well-researched, persuasive data. It's important to know your audience, a jury, co-workers, or relatives. Asking questions reveals beliefs and encourages conversation. Starting with a non-confrontational question like, "Are you open to hearing about this?" can avoid conflict and improve communication. Two types of inquiries exist: softball and hardball. Softball inquiries like, "What inspired you to run for office?" are non-leading and allow for free answers. These questions establish rapport and prepare for further discussion. Hardball queries are sharper and laid. Asking, "Didn't I tell you to take out the trash this morning?" suggests the answer and questions the respondent. Depending on the response, why, inquiries might change the discourse. Sincerity is key to persuasion. Insults, hypocrisy, and lying destroy credibility. Insults make others defensive, hypocrisy lowers morality, and lying kills trust. Instead, demonstrate your passion for your convictions and relate your arguments to fairness and justice. You can impeach an opponent's facts, reasoning, or character to weaken their argument. Asking someone to specify their sources can reveal flaws in their hearsay argument. The author asked former FBI Director James Comey about Hillary Clinton's email investigation. They subtly questioned her character without directly accusing her of lying. Persuasive questions require precision and repetition. Instead of always or never, use moderate phrasing. Repetition strengthens your argument, making it difficult to dismiss. Repackage an opponent's argument to show its ridiculousness if you are having trouble countering it. Rephrasing, "So you are saying it's her fault she was abused," can challenge the claim that a domestic violence victim should have known better than to return to their abuser. Sometimes the best arguments fail. You can handle these situations by changing the subject, examining the opponent's ideas, reinforcing strong arguments, or portraying yourself as a victim to gain sympathy. Each method attempts to limit harm and keep the discussion on track. Persuasion is not instant conversion. It's about helping people see things differently and reach their own conclusions. Persuasion requires realistic expectations and openness to new information. Stories are an effective approach to comprehending questions' power. Gowdy recounts many career moments when asking the correct questions made all the difference. In a robbery trial, he worked through the defendant's alibi with questioning. He asked for inquiries that revealed flaws in the story rather than accusing the defendant of lying. This method engaged the jury and allowed them to conclude that the defendant was lying. His congressional service is another example. Instead of assaulting his immigration reform opponents, Gowdy raised questions about their plan's actual effects. He changed the topic by asking, How can we secure our borders and create a path to citizenship for those already here, and encouraged his colleagues to think more carefully. This questioning strategy improved discussion and helped discover common ground. In personal contexts, Gowdy shows how questions can diffuse disagreements. Instead of making a controversial statement at Thanksgiving dinner, he asked his family what they thought and why. This technique created a respectful, insightful conversation where everyone felt heard and valued. Persuasion works with repetition. Gowdy recalls constantly asking a witness to describe their actions in a crucial time. Each repetition of the inquiry highlighted contradictions in the witness's statement, showing the jury that the account didn't make sense. Repetition goes beyond repeating a question. Finding numerous methods to ask the same question emphasizes it. If you are trying to convince your boss to accept a new business plan, start with, "How will this strategy improve our efficiency?" You may later ask, "What are the potential benefits of this strategy for our team's performance?" Finally, "How can this strategy help us achieve our company's goals?" Each question reinforces the main point with a unique perspective. Persuasive questions require facts. A good basis of facts improves your queries and builds your credibility, says Gowdy. Gathering all pertinent facts is essential before persuasion. This preparation lets you ask smart, credible questions. With this knowledge, you can ask, "What does the data say about the cost-effectiveness of this policy?" Facts and emotions are crucial to persuading. Gowdy examines how questions can evoke emotion in an argument. Asking personal questions might help you connect with your audience. Gowdy famously tried to convince a jury to convict a child abuse suspect. He asked jurors to imagine how they would feel if it were their child instead of just giving the facts. Asking questions like, "How would you feel if your child were in this situation?" or "What would you want the justice system to do if this happened to your family?" made the case more personal and emotional for the jurors. Persuasion through asking is applicable in daily life. The same strategies work for negotiating a raise, mediating a quarrel, and convincing your kid to clean their room. Know your goal, gather information, and tailor your questions to your audience. If you want a raise, it is better to ask, "Can we talk about how my work has influenced the company's achievements?" instead of demanding more money. What criteria do you use to determine salary increases? These questions encourage your company to value you and start a productive conversation. Questions that foster empathy and understanding can help mediate conflicts. Example, "How do you think the other person feels about this situation? How can we reach a compromise for both sides?" These questions emphasize solutions rather than blame. Answering questions is only half the battle, listening is the other. Active listening helps persuade others by understanding their perspective. Listening improves questioning, shows respect, and fosters relationships.